Hello, welcome to a book obsession. Today's book review is going to be on Kristin Hannah's Between Sisters, and I am going to talk a lot about the storyline, but one of the things that really got to me with this is so many lessons you can learn when you read this and you look at your lives with your siblings. For all of you guys who know me, you know that I have 5 sisters, and so that's probably why I picked up this book, was the title probably just got me with that. Anyways, there was just so many lessons. I'm going to give you a quick little preview of what the book is about, and then I really want to talk about that because I just felt like it was almost a self-help book in some ways, because you really start to evaluate whether or not you've done some of these things. Without going too much into the exact storyline, because the truth is that you won't see the struggles ahead. I honestly thought we were going one way with the book, and it's not about that, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm not going to ruin that for you. But I will tell you basics, and the basics are you have an older sister, Megan, and a younger sister, Claire. They grew up with their mother. Their father's not in the picture, and the mother was, I want to say, an alcoholic. She definitely drank, and she was very absent. She just really didn't think about the kids. So Megan had to spend the majority of her childhood being the adult, taking care of Claire, and in some ways taking care of the mother. It's odd, and I enjoyed the fact that the mother actually becomes a somewhat like a B-list celebrity. And I liked that the mother had money, but just really didn't care about the kids. I don't mean that to sound crazy. Sometimes it's not about mothers not having a choice and them being poor or them having drinking problems. Sometimes it's just they're selfish. And that's really what this mother is she's just so selfish. She doesn't see her kids as people, as her children, as something to protect. She sees them as objects to use. When the book starts, the sisters have gone their separate ways. Megan was really worried that CPS was going to get involved, and so she ends up calling Claire's biological father and having him take both of them in. And because of the situation, I think partly because Megan is so used to taking care of Claire and being the mom that it's hard for her to have rules and boundaries, and partly just because of, teenagers acting out and rebelling, that Megan doesn't get along with Claire's father, and so she ends up leaving Claire with her father. That is, Megan's big regret, because now they really don't have a relationship. They talk on the phone a couple of times, but for the most part they don't see each other and really don't have anything to do with each other's lives. In this book, that's going to change, obviously. The beginning of it is going to be because Claire decides to get married and Megan becomes overprotective again. She's a high-profile divorce lawyer, and so the idea that Claire meets this guy and decides to marry him after only a couple of days, really just, she can't imagine it. Megan hasn't had really any luck in love. She doesn't have any children. Claire is a young mother. She has a daughter who she never married that father or anything like that. So Megan just feels like she needs to swoop in and be the protective mom and make everything right in the situation. And in some ways it pushes even harder on that relationship because Claire doesn't want that. As far as Claire's concerned, Megan doesn't have anything to do with her life. She definitely doesn't have the right to come in and try and take over things. So now that you guys have the general idea of the book, I want to talk to you guys about the life lessons. And one of them that I think is a perfect example of what happens so many times, and truthfully I'm not even sure that it just happens between siblings, but as a sibling I definitely can see this. When Claire and Megan are at Claire's, I think you call it a bridal shower, but this was mixed company. Anyways, they are doing this game, and Megan is trying to be politically correct and make Claire happy, and she gives this answer, and Claire automatically starts frowning, and when they're talking about it later, Claire felt offended by Megan's answer, and Megan really was trying. And I think that happens so often, where both parties are attempting to do the right thing, but the way that the information is received, it means so much. My husband and I have this motto that it's always assume I'm not trying to hurt you. And the reason for that is because in the event that I say something and he doesn't hear it and so he doesn't do it, instead of getting mad, I automatically assume the best. Automatically assume that he wasn't intentionally doing it, he just didn't hear me. And in this book, that's not the case. Obviously their relationship is on the rocks and they're trying to mend things. I kind of think that Megan is trying a little harder than Claire, but that's probably because Megan has a little more to make up for. And I really think it is hard for Claire to let herself truly believe that Megan's there for all the right reasons. Another great life lesson in this book was what's good for one person isn't always good for the other. And when Claire decides to get married to Bobby because they meet and instantly fall in love and decide not to waste time, is it something that everybody should do? Or even quite frankly, is it the wisest thing to do? Probably not. However, Megan nor anybody else has the right to tell Claire how to live her life. And when Megan tries to push things on Claire, their relationship obviously is going to be stressed. Where through the book, the more that Megan accepts Claire for being an adult and making her own choices, the better their relationship gets. There's a lot more to this storyline, and truthfully, part of it I do wish I would share with you guys, but I also feel like it kind of takes away a little from the story. And if I tell you anything, it's going to spoil that entire portion of the book, which isn't fair. We talked about Megan, Claire, and Bobby. They also have Claire's father actually lives on a ranch with Claire, so he's going to be there quite a bit. Claire's daughter Allison, you're going to get to know her, and she's just a sweetheart. And then Megan will eventually get a love interest, Joe. I can't say anything about Joe because it's such a big turning point for the book. I do want to say though that from the beginning of the book, you do know that Joe is homeless and that way by choice. By the way he's thinking and acting and stuff like that, you know that something in his past is causing him to run away. And so he's going to be struggling with who he is and who he wants to be. While on the subject of Joe, I want to be discreet but just say that there are some really good life lessons we can learn from him too about running away, and also about the fact that when you choose to uproot your life or make drastic changes, sometimes that influences other people around you, impacts their lives as well. With that, I really enjoyed this book. It was so much about relationships, family, and communication, and siblings. It was perfect. I have to admit there were so many tears, guys. I've been doing really well. I haven't cried while reading for a while, but this just opened the floodgates. I felt so much for all of these people involved and everything they've gone through. And truthfully, with how much Megan really was trying to be there for Claire, I wish that they could have all had a happy-go-lucky, perfect life, but then we wouldn't have this book. Anyways, Kristin wrote an amazing book. For any of you guys who want to pick it up, I always leave the author's link to any books I review as the very first link in my description. If you like this review, go ahead and like it. If you have any questions, comments, maybe a recommendation for a future book, go ahead and leave that down below. And if you want my reviews every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and subscribe. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you again soon.